everybody, my name is Kelsey. How do you even mess up your own intro? Hello everybody, my name is Kelsey and we're about to get very, very nerdy with a book haul. So I haven't done a haul in a very long time, and if I did all of the books that I'd missed, we would be here for hours. However, I did pretty good in all of the months except for October. So guess which month we're gonna do today? Hint, hint, it's October. In my defense, my roommate and I discovered a new kind of warehouse bookstore not too far away where, I'm not even kidding you, the most expensive book that I saw there was $6. $6! How could you say no to that? But it was really cool because some of these were ones that I've been wanting for a very long time. Some of these are ones that I pre-ordered and was like, yes, thank you. And some were total impulse buys. Let's just get right into the ones that I have here. The first book I got is The Lady's Guide to Petticoats and Piracy by Mackenzie Lee. This is kind of a little bit of a sequel to The Gentleman's Guide to Vice and Virtue that came out, I believe, last year. This follows the main character Monty, his sister, so I'm very excited. It kind of comes after everything that happened in that book, but I was so excited that this one was coming out and I had to get it. I just had to get my hands on it. So I did. Here it is. I have it. I do like that it's aesthetically pleasing because it goes together and it looks like they're supposed to be together. It sounds very similar to the first one in that there's going to be lots of adventure, there's going to be pirates in it. You know, she's very, very strong-willed. She was in the first one, and it's about time she got her own, like, moment to shine. So I'm so excited to pick this one up, and yeah. So the next book I got is Through the Dark by Alexander Bracken. This is part of the world of The Darkest Minds, but it's not actually part of the series. This is just a collection of short stories, but honestly, the spine is the reason I did it. I don't know if you can see this, but the K stands out, and if you put the 3 and this one next to it, it spells out dark. So obviously I had to get this one. So it's just a bunch of short stories, and I'm very excited to get around to this. I can definitely take this in chunks, which is nice. So that is the next one I got. So the next book I'm very excited about, and that is Two Dark Reigns by Kendara Blake. This is the third in the Three Dark Crowns trilogy. So this one just follows all the same people on the next step of their journey, and I'm very, very excited about this because I don't actually know what could happen next. The way it ended in the second one did have a mini cliffhanger, but also, like, if it ended there, it would still be somewhat satisfying. But the fact that there are 2 more books after that, I don't know what's gonna happen, and I need to know. So I'm very excited, and I need to read this one because I fell in love with this world a lot more than I thought I would. But here I am. I care about the people, and I need to know. The next one that I got is the only graphic novel that I got in this month, and that is the 9th volume of Saga. Now I am currently reading it, so a whole lot is happening about halfway through at the time of recording this, and I won't say a whole lot just because it is a series and I don't want to ruin it if you haven't read it, but it's crazy, it's insane. If you like science fiction-y stuff, if you like Romeo and Juliet and like the forbidden love from 2 separate places and families that hate each other, it's got that. It's got lots of science fiction. It is very, very adult, so I will put that warning out there. I'm sure everyone says that when they talk about this. I love it a whole lot, and I need to know what happens, and there are no more after this one. As of right now, there are no more out after this one. It's not over. So this is my graphic novel buy of the month. Next book I got is Learning to Swear in America by Katie Kennedy. This was a total impulse buy at that fancy store that I was telling you about that I went with my roommate. This is about an asteroid headed to Earth. So this follows Yuri, and he's kind of been hired by NASA to help them figure out how to stop this asteroid. The problem is he is 17 and no one is taking him seriously, and he thinks that he knows how to solve it, but like no one is listening to him. And the very back right here says an asteroid is hurling towards Earth. That's certainly something to swear about. I don't know why it grabbed me. I'm not really into like asteroids coming to Earth and death kind of stories, but this one for some reason just kind of grabbed me. I do believe there's going to be somewhat of a love interest in here. I feel like this is going to be super, super sassy, so I'm really excited. And it was like $3, so what can you do? This next book might be the one that I am most excited about, only because it's such a strange concept that I kind of need to know, and I've never heard of this book before, but it's called I Love You by Erin Loyne. So this is a world where no one gets married, they sign contracts, and the contracts last 7 years, and you can renew it or you can't. And it says right here, you don't divorce, you breach, and sometimes you just expire. What does that even mean? So it sounds like this follows a woman named Kate who was in a 7-year contract with a guy, and it sounds like he's not gonna want to renew when it's over, and she's kind of hitting like a little bit of a midlife crisis. Not midlife, but like mid-20 crisis, and her job is like messing up, she doesn't know what to do, and there's a boy, or a man, who only goes after women who are in contracts but won't get in contracts himself. It seems like it's gonna follow the whole like bad boy turned good kind of plot line for like romance movies or romance books, but the whole like contract thing, for some reason, I find really fascinating, and that's a totally different idea. I've never heard of that before, so I'm really intrigued how this is going to work. So yeah, I just randomly picked this up because I was super intrigued by this story. So the next book is one that I definitely didn't need. As I've said before on this channel, I'm a huge Jane Austen fan, but I have all of her novels bound in one copy, which I think is amazing. I got it a few years ago for my dad for Christmas, and it's absolutely gorgeous. But I will say it's kind of hard to read those if you want to like pull one out. So I got this beautiful copy of Sense and Sensibility. It is bound in this like faux leather kind of binding. It is just Sense and Sensibility, and it's just, you know, just the copy of the book, but I found it absolutely gorgeous. The inside pages are really, really pretty. But blue is one of my favorite colors, so that definitely drew me to it. And I can't wait to reread this book in this copy. It's so pretty. So the next one I'm very, very excited about because I'm going to be reading this year. I have plans to read it this year, and that is The Afterlife of Holly Chase by Cynthia Hand. So this is kind of a retelling of A Christmas Carol. It follows Holly Chase, who is visited by the 3 ghosts of Christmas past, present, and future to help her change her life. The problem is she doesn't, and she ends up dying anyway, and so she's stuck in what's called Project Scrooge as the ghost of Christmas past, who is sent back every year to hopefully help somebody else change their life before they die. And so I'm really intrigued how they're going to take this very classic Christmas story and make it modern and make it different. But I am very excited to read this for the holiday. It sounds perfect, and I am excited. Also, I love Christmas, so to read during Christmas just makes life better. So the next book that I got is Worlds of Ink and Shadow by Lena Coakley. This one follows the Bronte sisters. This seems like a book where they just get so wrapped up in their own words that they end up going into their stories. So it just sounds really interesting. They sound like they might get stuck in their own worlds for a hot second. So can they escape? Can they not? We will find out, but I just like the idea behind this, and I thought I would give it a go. So the next book I got is Georgia Peaches and Other Forbidden Fruit by Jane Robin Brown. So throw the book. This follows Jo, who is in her senior year in high school, and she has been out to her dad for years, but he gets married and they have to move from very, very metro Atlanta to Rome, Georgia. So once they move, her dad basically asks her to kind of lie low so that it helps them, you know, get situated in the new town and have her just kind of like survive the rest of her high school. And she reluctantly is like, all right, you know, fine. But what happens when you fall for the popular girl? And what happens if the popular girl may or may not fall for you too? So I'm really, really excited about this one. This sounds like a really, really interesting concept. So remember that fact that I said I'm not a huge fan of like meteors hitting the earth book? remember that. So the next book that I got is We All Looked Up by Tommy Wallich. This follows 4 people in high school as a meteor is headed towards Earth. But I'm getting like very strong kind of Breakfast Club vibes just a little bit. They're all being labeled as something, so we've got the athlete, the slut, the slacker, and the overachiever, and they all basically in this last few weeks, months that they think that they've got on Earth, they want to change those titles. They just want to be themselves. So it sounds like a kind of coming of age story with the meteor shower included somehow. So the next book that I picked up is Romancing the Throne by Nadine Joel Courtney. I love stories about romance. I love stories about royals, whether it is in the past, like Tudor, or whether it is more modern. So this takes place at a boarding school, and it follows 2 sisters, Charlotte and Libby. And Libby is now gone to the same school as her sister Charlotte, and they kind of are... Libby sounds a little bit like a rebellious one, but Charlotte happens to be the same school that a Prince Edward goes to, and Charlotte has her eye on said prince, and soon they are dating. And to encourage her sister to basically become more involved and get better at her grades and stuff like that, she encourages Libby to hang out with her new boyfriend, and it sounds like there might be feelings from both sisters for the same guy. So kind of a love triangle, but it has to do with royals, so I couldn't resist it. Also, this cover is super cute. It's adorable. So the next book I picked up was A Mad Wicked Folly by Sharon Biggs Waller. So this follows a girl named Victoria Darling, and all she wants to do is art. But because it's set in kind of a more interesting time period that would be not so okay for a girl to go to school, she decides to do something a little bit crazy and pose nude for an artist. Now when people find out about that, she gets banished from her boarding school, or her finishing school that is, and so her parents try to like marry her off really quickly to basically get it all figured out. But she's got a mind of her own, and so it sounds like she's going to push some social boundaries a little bit, get involved in the suffrage movement, get involved in just trying to live her life how she wants, and possibly fall for someone who is not of the same social class as her. It says 1909 is where this is set, so a lot more modern than I originally thought it was, but still at a time when women didn't have a whole lot of say in a lot of things, so I'm actually really intrigued to get a more modernized version of like Tudor England books that I've been reading, but with like the same issues a little bit, so I'm excited about this one. So the next 2 books I got in my Owl Crate, so if you have seen that video, I will link that above or below so you guys can check it out if you would like to see the full unboxing. So like I said, we got 2 books this month. They're both signed by the author. They both had all the fancy stuff that came with it, so that was super, super exciting. Now, the first one we were told what it was going to be, and that one is Pride by Iba Zaboy. Now, this is a modern retelling of Pride and Prejudice. It even says on the front, a Pride and Prejudice remix. This is set in Brooklyn, and I'm actually pretty excited about this because obviously I love Jane Austen. Anything Jane Austen, I feel like if I say that a lot, I do say that a lot. But, so I'm actually pretty excited to see a brand new adaptation of a very beloved novel, especially by myself. So the next book that I got, or the second book that I got in my Owl Crate, the one that we didn't know about, is The Shadow of the Fox by Julie Kagawa. This one I'm still pretty confused about what it's about, but I know that it's got a whole lot of like mystery. There's a lot with some prophecies. It seems kind of like a very intense fantasy as well. It is absolutely gorgeous, and it's got this giant fox on the front. And I will say right here on the front, it says, "When Destiny Calls, Legends Rise." So it sounds like there might be some, you know, the chosen one vibes going in here and fulfilling some prophecies or legends or something like that. So that is this one. The last book that I bought in the month of October was just a total impulse buy. I mean, most of these were, but this one I just happened to have a coupon and was like, yes, why not? And it is by some of my authors that I really enjoyed a couple of books of theirs, and that is Josh and Hazel's Guide to Not Dating by Christina Lauren. Now these are the same authors who wrote Autobiography, which I absolutely loved. Now it's about exactly what it sounds like. It follows Josh and Hazel's kind of a weirdo and doesn't think a lot of people are gonna like her. And so she and Josh start up this friendship, and so it starts turning into they keep trying to hook each other up with certain people, mostly so they can hang out with each other. I'm interested in to see how this is gonna work, because they're both like, we're just friends. Of course we're just friends. We're nothing more than friends. But obviously they're gonna be more than friends. But I definitely enjoyed Autobiography a whole lot, so I'm excited to see something else by these two authors, especially because from what I understand, their normal writing style is to have 2 points of view and one will write one and one will write the other. However, Autobiography was 90% in one point of view, so I only know that version of them. So I'm excited to check this one out, and it looks like a fun little romance. So that is it. That was a lot of books. I hope I described them well enough. I don't know what details to include and what details to leave out. Like, I don't know what's actually a spoiler and what's not. I just go off of what the sleeve says. So there's that, but I hope you enjoyed my very long haul. Thank you guys so much for making it to the end of this video. Have you read any of the books that I have talked about? If you have, please let me know down below. I would love to know your thoughts. Give this video a big thumbs up if you liked it, and subscribe if you want to be part of this awesome grubbing family we've got going on here. And that's it, and I will see you guys in my next video.